Hi, it's Bryony here. I wanted to share a little bit of some contemplation that I've been sitting with for quite some time, and I just would like to put it into the space. And what I do when I place things into the space is that the invitation here is for you to sit with and be curious and reflect. I'm always happy to hear your thoughts and experiences on anything that I share, particularly around this piece of love. You know, if you've not been in my world for very long, the basis of everything that I teach and everything that I live comes from a center point of humanity. And in that center point is love. And this ideology that love is kind of this very particular presentation, very particular way of being and living in the world and showing up. And often I see the indoctrination of this kind of love where we have to forgive, where there's a lot of emphasis placed on how it looks, how it feels, how it presents, what we should seek, how we identify it. And with everything that's been happening in the world these last years and this decolonisation process that I've been, journey that I've been on since 2018, is this idea that I don't think love means there's no fight. This idea that love and fight are two opposite. I do not think this kind of binary way of thinking, this kind of one way or the other way of thinking, is extremely outdated and is placing more harm in the world than actually good or freedom. Again, good's kind of a binary word, but freedom and liberation and connection. And this idea that if we're in love, we can't be angry or we can't be rageful. If that we're in love, we have to be compassionate. That this, you know, when these ideologies for love become so suffocating that love becomes a very narrow slipstream of expression and consciousness. The love that I know and that I've been contemplating and I teach and I've been culturing myself in is a love that encompasses all of life, all of the sticky, dense, difficult, emotional states and places that we often pathologize, sanitize, whitewash, exile into the deepest parts of ourselves because we don't have the support and scaffolding in our system, in our community, in our collective, and in our relationship to others and to ourselves. So I want to drop this idea into the field for you to contemplate for yourself love as a dynamic energy that shifts and moves the center of life. It's the center of life, center of living. It's also the center of death. It's also the center of grief. It's the center of rage. It's the center of humanity itself, is this love, what this love essence is. And in that, if we take it with that energy of it being life itself, then life itself encompasses so many states, so many places and spaces that in the cycle of life. And that means that it encompasses everything. I don't feel that we need to be, when we're in love, in a state of love and humanity and compassion, I don't feel that we need to not be rageful and not feel the injustice and not feel like we want to pick up the sword and enter into the battle. I think the act of picking up the sword, entering into the battle in the love state is love itself, is what love is. Love in its raw state and raw form shows up present and connected at all costs. Connected to self primarily first, anchoring into self, anchoring into the greater field, anchoring into God, anchoring into spirit, and that connectedness then filtrating out into the field, and that connection with others. And if you can hold yourself with love and feel shame as well, and anger and grief, and you can hold yourself through a lens of love and still feel the emotions and the places and spaces that are dense and difficult to be with, then this is the point. This is the humanity piece. This is the love. This is the pulsation of love. This is the pulsation of life. That we reach for love even in rage. It does not dilute the rage. It should never dilute it. It just brings us more into presence and connection with what is happening in our field, in ourselves, in the world, and our response becomes more connected. It doesn't matter what that response is. Healthy, yes. Healthy, not annihilating people or killing people, sure. Our response becomes connected, becomes appropriate. And yes, the perception is, and there's a whole scale of what's appropriate, because what's appropriate for me will be different to you. Yes, absolutely. That's not about the nuances are not important here as much as the understanding and reflection and curiosity of what love means to you. And the ideology that love can only come and be shown and expressed and felt in certain forms. But love is in rage too. And love is in death. Love is in grief. Love is in the pain and in the mess of it all. Because right down the guts of every experience that we have on a day-to-day is this longing to be seen, to be heard, to be witnessed, to be held, to be connected, to be loved. I'd love your thoughts on this. So yeah, comment, send me a DM.